Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I have 5 tips for new online teachers. So if this is your first time to my channel, welcome. I am an online teacher and I've been teaching online now for several years. I started in 2018 and when I'm recording this video now, it is 2022. So it's been a while. I've learned a lot and I've taught for many different companies on many different platforms. I've taught lessons that have curriculum. I've taught lessons where I've made my own curriculum. I've taught independently. So I've taught a lot. That's what I'm really getting at. So I love to share what I've learned and what I use and things that I have learned along the way. I love to share these things with other teachers. And so that's what my channel is all about. Sharing how to build your online teaching career. So if you're interested in material like this, please don't let this be the last time that you visit my channel. So I'm going to share with you 5 tips for new online teachers. Whether you want to teach with an ESL company or you want to teach on a platform that you create your own lessons for, these are tips that can be for anybody who wants to teach online. So tip number 1, be easy on yourself. When you first start out, or even before you start, you might be incredibly nervous. I've met with so many teachers who are just so nervous about starting to teach online that it paralyzes them to the point where sometimes they don't even want to go into it because they get so nervous about teaching online. Because the whole camera thing, people seeing them on a television, they just feel like it's just not their space that they're used to. So my biggest tip is just don't worry, do it, make mistakes, and learn from mistakes. Just like when you're telling your kids, you have to learn from your mistakes if you have kids, or what you were told when you were a kid was, we have to learn from our mistakes, and we're still learning from our mistakes. So do it, get in, start teaching. Don't worry about having every prop or everything that you think you need to start teaching online. You don't need everything. You could start camera, few props, curriculum, basic lesson, and just start teaching. And you will learn as you go what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and you'll get better as you go. So don't worry, be easy on yourself and let yourself make mistakes. Mistakes happen, so learn from them. Tip number 2, smile. Okay, so I've met with several teachers, I've coached several teachers who are trying to teach online, and I've noticed that people forget to smile when you're so nervous and you're thinking about so many things. It's very understandable that you will forget to smile, yes. But a smile goes a long way, especially for the student. So it makes them feel more comfortable. If their teacher is smiling, it makes them want to be around their teacher when their teacher is smiling. And it helps you as being the teacher. You might not have everything under control, but it sure can cover over a lot of your mistakes if you're smiling. So it makes you look like you're in control and confident. So don't forget to smile. I know you probably have every intention to smile, but it is surprisingly easy to forget. So practice your smile. Part 2 of this is your expression. Now, being an ESL teacher, we had to do TPR. And if you're a new ESL teacher, you will have to practice your TPR, total physical response. So you're talking a lot with your hands, you're using your expression with your face to communicate what to your student who doesn't know English, what it is you're trying to communicate, basically, okay? So it's very helpful when you're teaching English online, but it's very helpful just teaching online, because just think about it. When you want to engage your students, it's better to have expressions to help them to visualize what you're saying as well as hear what you're saying. So it's good for engaging your students. And when somebody is very monotonous Of course, we all know that a monotonous teacher just kind of loses our attention and it's hard for us to focus. So an expressive teacher on the flip side of that is going to grab your attention and keep you engaged. So it does more than one thing when you're expressive, using your hands, using your whole body to communicate what it is you're trying to communicate to your students, even if it's not ESL. This goes for all students online because you're trying to engage them on this little screen here. You need to engage your students. Next is build rapport with your students. And on the flip side of that is not only building rapport at the beginning, but also keeping the conversation going. So yes, you have some material that you want to present and teach to your student, but you want to try to, get them to know you a little bit. Just build a relationship with them. So at the beginning of your class, spend at least 3 minutes trying to find out what the weather's like, what's going on in their neck of the woods, their part of the world, what they ate today, what they like to do, anything to try to get them talking, right? And then throughout the lesson, yes, you want to get your lesson done, but just try to conversate with them throughout the lesson too, because it just helps them to connect with you and make them feel like they enjoy the lesson. So don't get so stuck on trying to teach. Try to play, and teach, play, and teach. Yeah, with adults it's a little different, but with adults you can talk more, and with kids you can play more. Maybe play a game throughout, so at some point in your lesson to try to help keep the energy up and the engagement going. Number 4 is have good tech and know your tech. So I, as an online teacher, I have been using many different products, and usually my camera is Logitech, which I highly recommend. And I used to have a headset with a boom mic when I was required to because of sound, but now my computer is okay with sound. But my computer without a camera is not very clear, even though I have a pretty good computer. I recently purchased a MacBook, and I was really surprised that the camera on the MacBook is not that clear. So the way I learned this was in class. When I first started using my MacBook, my students were like, "Oh, teacher, you look different. You look yellow." Okay, so yes, the camera was not nearly as good as my Logitech webcam. So now I just use my webcam with my MacBook. Even though my MacBook is a great computer, the camera is not. So have good tech, because when you are with your students, they want to see clear picture. And if they don't have a clear picture, they might not tell you, but they notice something is not right. And you want to be known as that teacher with good technology, good screen, good sound, and a teacher who knows their technology. When you're teaching your lesson, you want to focus on the lesson and not fumbling over your technology trying to figure it out. So make sure you know your platform, whatever platform you're teaching on, and it makes your lesson go so much smoother if you know your technology too. And then tip number 5 is find your teaching community. When you're an online teacher, yes, you don't have your next door neighbor, teacher, friend that you could just talk to in between classes. So you have to reach out and find those communities that can really be helpful for you in finding out more about the company that you're working for, getting your questions answered, hearing stories about what's going on in their classes. I mean, it really does help you to feel like you're not alone in this. So I am a part of several Facebook groups that are groups of the different companies that I've worked for, and in those groups I just love to hear what's going on with other teachers. Sometimes I just read what's happening with them, sometimes I ask a question, but Facebook has really been a really good place for me to feel like I'm a part of a teaching community and I'm not always alone in teaching and not knowing what I'm doing. It helps me to learn what I'm doing. And not only that, but Instagram is also a place you can create a community. These are not the only places, but these are the places that I've used to create a community for myself. Now on Instagram, you kind of have to build your community, so you do have to befriend people on Instagram, other teacher friends, so you can connect with them and hear and learn what they're doing. So Instagram works a little bit different, but Facebook, they have their groups. You can get involved with a group, and then I'm sure there's other ways too. Like here on YouTube, you can comment in the comments below. Tell me how your classes are going. Ask questions if you have some questions. So, YouTube is another place that you can create a community too. So I hope these tips were helpful for you in your online teaching journey. If you're just starting out, or if you've been going for a bit and you just wanted to get a few more tips, I hope that these helped, hearing them from a teacher who's been doing this for quite a bit. But I still am learning. So if you have some tips for me that you think would be helpful that I didn't actually mention in this video, please leave them down below. I would love to hear them. Other people would love to hear them as we build our community. Okay, so thanks for watching the video. Let me know what you think by giving me a like. I would really appreciate it. And I just want to give you a heads up that I'm working on my next video, and that's going to be about how you can teach online. Okay, not really technique, but how and where you can teach online. So if that's something that you're interested in, please look out for it. You can subscribe, and I'll be putting that video out pretty soon. So I will see you all in the next video, and thanks for watching. Bye.